Garlic is a really super health herb. It has so many health benefits. In fact, it is the most widely studied and widely used herb in the world when it comes for health and well-being. Of course, it's used extensively in cooking and culinary experiences as well, which makes it absolutely fantastic because everybody knows it, everybody can get it, and it's easy to use. In fact, you just use it wherever. Now, when I talk about the studies and so on, please don't ask me how much, because at the end of the day, they use all different types of garlic in the studies. They use garlic oil, they use dried garlic, they used aged garlic, they had used another one called chaotic garlic, they use fresh garlic, and so on and so on. So it's a little bit hard for me to say. The best thing is though, is you can get it as a supplement, and of course you can get it as a garlic clove. And the great thing is you can add as much as you want, because the more you have, the better it is, the healthier you are. And it comes down to one of the major ingredients. It's got some really good ingredients in there, including some minerals and so on, but it's got one called allicin, and this has just so many properties. But the first of all, it starts off the basics, okay? It's anti-inflammatory, and we know that all chronic illness, diabetes, heart attack, strokes, cancers, are all inflammatory diseases. So we know that instantly this is a potent anti-inflammatory agent, and if you add a few more cloves to your cooking, you're actually adding a health benefit. Wow. It's antioxidant, again, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant are the two cornerstones of starting to repair all that damage done through chronic illness and so on. It's antifungal, antibacterial, and even antiviral, which means actually it's great wherever you use it. You know it's going to help clean up those situations, which I'll talk about in the mouth later on. It's great for periodontal disease, but lots of other conditions out there. So coming in, looking up here, cardiovascular disease is probably the area most well studied, and we're going to do another little video on that one. Just suffice to say that there's many studies, hundreds of studies on garlic and lowering hypertension. Improves the blood lipids, the fats in there, particularly the triglycerides. So it has a great benefit in doing that. And it decalcifies the arteries. Now, we know that calcification of the arteries is the real problem with the arteries. It's not the cholesterol, it's that hard calcium plaque on the outside, which makes it so rigid and inflexible and so on. And this decalcifies it. It's also a blood thinner, and of course it has anti-thrombotic properties. Now, some doctors will say don't eat the garlic because it thins the blood and you're already on blood thinners. Some nutritional GPs will say, okay, I'll help you wean off the blood thinners and you can go on the garlic and the other things that do that. Metabolic syndrome, the studies show that it's great in terms of helping balance sugar for diabetics, reduces the risk of diabetes, but also helps with blood sugar and insulin sensitivity, which means you don't need as much insulin to get the sugars and so on into the cells where they need to do the work. And of course, there are lots of studies linking it with a reduction in obesity and being involved in weight gain. So eat more garlic to lose more weight. And that's just not because of your friends, okay? You lose your friend. Now, I actually imagine that in the old days when they said that this is the stuff that keeps vampires away, that they probably didn't know what was killing people over a long period of time. And they know that this actually acts to protect people and extend people's lives. So I reckon all the vampires here are these things in the old mythology days. Coming back to it, acute mental health, there's studies showing that it helps relieve anxiety and depression. Long-term aging mental health, it shows an absolute definite benefit with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Now, nobody wants to get that, and the average age of my audience out there is about 35 to 45, and so you're all thinking about it already. So start eating more garlic. Does it mean you're going to not get it? No, it just lowers the risk of it, and if you've got it, it can actually help ameliorate some of the symptoms. That's at least what the studies show. Arthritis, it helps with osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and gout. So a really simple thing you can add. Now, by the way, all of these are studies. These show up in PubMed. Anything you want to do, just for example, do garlic arthritis or garlic and gout in a PubMed research and it comes up. Unfortunately, a lot of the medical industry doesn't like me saying this, and some of my presentations get taken down after 2 weeks. But everything I present here comes from scientific journals. So we've got bone health, improves bone health, particularly in terms of osteoporosis. It helps stimulate what's called osteogenesis, which is the building of the bone by stimulating what's called the osteoblasts, and slows down the drawing of the calcium off, called the osteoclasts. So a great opportunity. It's got so many properties out there. And of course, good for your skin, not to be applied to the skin, but definitely in terms of the richness and health of your skin and so on. Orally, it's been demonstrated repeatedly. There's hundreds of studies on the oral benefits of it. And this is where it's antifungal, bacterial, and viral, because it helps rebalance the mouth microbiome. Now, we have a mouth microbiome, and that will determine if you get tooth decay and periodontal disease. And as a result of garlic, it lowers the risk of the tooth decay and periodontal disease. It helps control fungal growth, something called thrush. Ladies, you'll know that one in particular. It helps control thrush, it helps control helicobacter in the stomach, and it helps actually work on the gut microbiome as well. So it's a win-win situation all the way down the digestive tract. So it kills some of the negative bacteria and stimulates the growth of the more positive ones. So it really helps balance it out. And there's a couple of studies I found on women's issues, particularly endometriosis. Now, probably because of some of the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory agents in there, because it is a potent antioxidant and inflammatory. It's been used in some trials and they've had beneficial outcomes with endometriosis. Ladies, so simple to good. So we've got the last part here, and that is cancer. Now, these again, I'm highlighting are studies. And what we find is the increased consumption of garlic and or use in trials on either mice, rats, or at a cellular level shows that it lowers the risk of colon cancer. Now, most of these are, of course, gastrointestinal, which you'd expect, because the dysbiosis in the mouth leads to oral cancers. Dysbiosis in the stomach, e.g. with helicobacter, leads to stomach cancers and so on. So if you can help balance that and give the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, it's a really healing agent. It works on so many ways. So prostate cancer in men, esophageal cancer, larynx cancer, oral cancer, ovarian cancer, and liver as well. This has so many benefits, so many health properties, and it's available in your local cupboard.